Hello and welcome, everyone. We will get started here in just a moment. I'll wait until everybody has a chance to be admitted into the room. So just give us one moment here. All right, here we go. Thank you all for joining us. This is going to be a great event today. We have lots of people joining, so this is great. We have an amazing panel. So before we get started, I would just like to briefly go over a few things. One is that this webinar is recorded, so please feel free to share it with anyone who is not able to attend today. If you would like to turn on your closed captions, you may do so by going to the bottom panel of Zoom. And please feel free to engage with the panelists and your colleagues via chat. There is also a Q&A option. If you would like to ask questions anonymously, you may also do that. Without any further ado, I would like to hand it over to Molly. Thanks, Molly.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Happy Thursday. We're going to go ahead and get started with introductions. Oh, next slide, Mama. Oh, next slide. Oh, perfect. We're going to kick it off with Brenda.
Hey everybody, my name is Brenda Schumann. I'm Assistant Vice Provost for Enrollment Services and University Registrar at the University of Texas at Austin. And I'm helping to moderate today, so I'll be watching the chat and posing any questions to our panelists.
And hi everyone, I am Molly McDermott Fallon, Assistant Vice Provost and University Registrar at the University of Cincinnati. I am also the co-chair of volunteers for ACRO for the Columbus Conference.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey Simonson, Registrar and Director of Community Standards at Tufts University School of Dental Medicine. I'm also the chair of the Young Professionals Caucus.
Next slide.
Okay, hi. Hello, everyone. This is Amir Siddiqui. I'm from Pakistan. I'm a registrar and a director of academic operation here in the private sector university, UIT University. And I'm also a member of ACRO since 2013. This is my first time attending this international annual meeting implementation success thing. So, hello, everyone.
Hi. Next slide. All right, so you all are registered for the ACRO 2024 conference. Yay, you've done the first step. Wonderful. So one of the first questions we all receive is, what am I supposed to wear to the conference? I know that is number one on my list as I'm trying to throw stuff into a bag. So conference is business casual. You're going to see a variety of outfits. For those who are presenting, sometimes they're going to be a little bit more dressed up, but really it's a business casual kind of conference. Prepare for the weather. Ohio weather can be a little temperamental, as I'm experiencing right now, so you're not sure what you're gonna get. But so just check the weather leading up to conference. I also suggest bringing a sweater because the conference rooms can be a little chilly at times. So just kind of be prepared for what to wear and what to pack. So we go to ACRO, right, to learn. We're going to gain knowledge from the experts in the registrar, admissions, and enrollment management field. We're going to network. This is huge, and I cannot continue to emphasize this enough throughout this presentation. Use this opportunity to network with your colleagues. It's a place to go build face-to-face relationships. It's a great place to ask, how do you do that? I don't know how many times throughout the year I always ask, well, how do other institutions do this? We're not the first, we're not unique. How do other people do this? This is a perfect opportunity to ask that question, how do you do that? If you're delivering a presentation, you're going to share ideas and foster discussions on issues and trends in the field, which we know a lot is going on right now in our field in higher education. You're here to evaluate vendor products and services. Visit that exhibit hall and go to demo of the technologies and services to see what can benefit your institution. I always am challenging folks to be an influencer in your space. I'm going to kind of share this story. So I have a team member who went to a conference, talked to a vendor, and loved what the vendor was saying, exactly what we needed for my office. And so she came back and said, Molly, I really think this is a great tool for us. We did a demo, university caught on, we did multiple demos, and we're about to buy an enterprise solution for the entire institution because my staff member talked to a vendor at an exhibit hall. So be an influencer in your space. It happens, even if you're like, I'm not the person who buys it, you can go back and talk to your leadership. It's a place to rejuvenate. You're going to make new friends, share your who share your joys, goals, and commiserate. And yes, you can commiserate. It's okay. It's okay. We all need that space to then open up. You can do that. It's also a really great place to get involved. You're going to see and meet people from all over. Ask questions, use the Whova app. We're going to talk more about that Whova app later on in the presentation, but that is just an amazing, amazing resource for you. Also, don't be afraid to go up to people, ask questions, and ask what they do and how they got involved. Don't be afraid to go up to presenters after the presentation and say, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about your presentation, and bring your business card. So it's a great place to get involved. Next, I'm going to pass it off to Kelsey to talk about key experiences.
Thanks, Molly. So we know that the concept of going to a conference can be a little bit overwhelming. There's so many different things to do and so many different opportunities that you feel like you don't want to miss out on anything. But if you try to do everything, you're going to burn out really quickly. So we wanted to highlight some of the key experiences that you might be interested in your first time at an ACRO conference. The first would be the business meeting. This is a chance to receive updates and reports from the home office regarding relevant issues to the overall organization. It's really important to attend this meeting because you're all voting members, and the business meeting is that opportunity to exercise your right to vote on various institutional changes, policies, and governance. There are several sessions on FERPA, including the sessions by the famous Leroy Rooker. Those are always really, really popular, really informative, especially if you're a first-time attendee. One of the ways that's a good way to dip your toe into ACRO and part of the networking experience is to experience some of the caucuses. They're a great way to begin your networking journey with the ACRO community, and they're more informal and can be a great start along your ACRO journey. I'll also put in a plug for the Young Professionals Caucus. We will be meeting at ACRO. We have a session and you're welcome to attend. The keynote and plenary sessions are also for every ACRO attendee to gather at the same time. We have some really great speakers and topics, so make sure that you take advantage of those as well. And finally, there are the state and regional receptions that will be offered usually in the evenings on the days that we meet for the gatherings. It's typically Tuesday evenings, and so you might want to take advantage of those as well. And we will be offering several first-time attendee sessions prior to and during the annual meeting. If you're excited but overwhelmed by the prospect of your first annual meeting, you can come and join us on the annual meeting open Q&A on March 20th from 3 to 4 Eastern. You can join us and chat with fellow ACRO members about what to expect and receive tips and tricks on how to make the most of your experience in Columbus. There's no fee for this webinar, and if you have any questions, please join us for the Q&A session there. On site, we'll have we encourage you to attend Experience ACRO. It's a live event on April 7th from 3:15 to 4:30. Again, there's no fee for this, and it's open to all first-time attendees. It will provide you with the opportunity to network and engage with other first-time attendees, ACRO staff, and the ACRO ambassadors. They'll share tips on getting more out of your experience and becoming more involved in the organization as a whole. This is a college fair style setting, and it allows you to move between tables to meet ambassadors who share your experiences and interests. And because the ACRO and annual conference can be very overwhelming, we do have an in case you missed it, or perhaps you're not a first-time attendee, but you want to learn more about ACRO or are feeling overwhelmed with the schedule, Take advantage of this time to orient or reorient yourself with ACRO in the annual meeting. We'll cover the ACRO basics and go over nuts to bolts to help you navigate the conference. We'll also have a first-time attendee wrap-up roundtable to make an impact with ACRO right away by sharing your feedback with the conference experience. This roundtable will give first-time attendees to the ACRO annual meeting the opportunity to come together to network and provide feedback regarding their experiences with ACRO in the annual meeting. Your participation and feedback really are essential, as they will assist the Member Engagement Committee with the future annual meetings and help us plan to ensure a welcoming experience for all first-time attendees.
Hi, I'm here to talk about the session types at the conference. We have breakouts, panels, roundtables, and stop and shares. So I'm going to give you like a brief description of what they all are. You'll typically see a lot of breakout sessions, which are a 50 to 75-minute presentation given by one or more presenter. More so 50 than 75. However, you'll see some ones that run a little longer. In those, you may see the presenter have a slideshow and some video content and expected throughout the presentation. Panels are a 50-minute presentation given by 3 or more co-presenters, and still slides and everything that will be part of that. And then you have your stop and shares. Oh, I'm sorry, skipped over one. Roundtables. Those are 50-minute discussions led by a presenter on topics at the forefront of the field. Again, there will be talking points, slides, shows, and videos. And roundtables follow a standard lecture format. They are interactive and involve sharing from the audience throughout the session. Then you have your stop and shares. Those are 30 to 50-minute small informal gathering where participants can connect with colleagues and experience similar challenges and successes on their campus. In addition to these session types, some of you all may be registered for some other things, which are pre-conference workshops. These workshops happen before the official kickoff of the conference, which is on Sunday. This may be Saturdays or in a little during the day on Sunday. And a workshop is a half or full day course led by experts in critical content areas of the field. Courses range from basic skills and knowledge in registrar, admissions, recruiting, and enrollment functions to courses that help participants build on their work experience to advance their career. Just a tidbit of information, registration for workshops is usually separate from the registration for the full conference event. Workshops, like I said, they take place before the annual meeting begins, and they most have fees. Some of these sessions you may see may be live streamed, and any type of participation is encouraged. You may just want to sit there and listen, or you may want to ask some questions, but all is accepted. We have some strategies for success. Heavily, I did this myself. Do some planning and logistics. Look at all the sessions, all the panels, all the roundtables. Look at all of that and plan your attack. Kind of write down in the WOVA app. Again, we will go over it. We'll help you do that as well. But it helps you try to figure out, where do you want to go? What are the ones that you want to hit? So strategies and logistics to determine what your goals are for your institution. What's your whole purpose in attending this conference? Determine your travel rules, how you want to keep your receipts. Those are another thing that we don't quite remember sometimes, but it's important if you want your reimbursement. And to download that WOVA app, which is the new app, specific dedicated blocks of time for things like vendors. You can schedule vendor sessions, business meetings, and plenaries, all of that within that WOVA app. Let's see. This all can be very overwhelming, especially once you even just get to the WOVA app. However, the WOVA app is there to help you, to guide you. And also, I just want you to make sure the self-care is very, very important. Take your time. Take time for yourself. I'll let Molly get into that, but I just wanted to touch on that myself because I had an issue last year. We'll talk about it later though.
I'm going to talk a little bit about self-care. So it is a convention center, so I highly recommend wearing comfortable shoes. Your feet will thank you for wearing comfortable shoes. Also, Columbus is a very walkable city, so you're going to probably want to step out and take a tour around Columbus, and so the comfortable shoes will come in. We talked already about dressing for all temperatures. I mean that, dress for all temperatures, bring a sweater. Take a break if you need it. I know there's a lot going on, there's a lot of people, there are a lot of sessions, there's a lot of information. Take a break if you need it. Another tip, bring a refillable water bottle. You're going to want it. There are stations that you can fill them. Bring a refillable water bottle. Leave enough time for yourself to navigate to sessions, to check out maps, and walk to get there. Again, it can be a little overwhelming, so just give yourself that moment, that time to navigate. A big thing is, remember, it's okay to be nervous. It's okay that this is your first acro. Say hi. You know me. I will be at that Columbus booth, so please don't hesitate to come up and say hi and ask any questions you have. I'm eager for it. So again, don't be nervous. It's A-okay. Another thing is the food. That's another hot topic, is food options. So Wonderful Columbus has a variety of restaurants right around the convention center. Like the Arena District is 2 blocks from the convention center. Hoffer House Columbus is 1.2 miles from the convention center. The historic North Market is just steps away from the convention center, and the North Market is home to the local butchers, bakers, greengrocers, and farmers with a lot of delicious food options. I highly recommend going. It's amazing. It really is a cool place to go. Another tip and trick that I like to share is, if there's things that you like while traveling, don't hesitate to use the Instacart. Have Instacart deliver some things that you know you like. If it's like Gatorade or snacks or something specific, or if you've got Advil or whatnot, what have you, use Instacart to deliver to your hotel so you have things on hand so you feel more comfortable while you're at conference. And I'm going to pass it over to Kelsey to talk about vendor products.
Great, thanks. While we are at the convention, is a huge exhibition room for vendors, exhibits, and an opportunity to network as well. At these vendor sessions, there will be plenty of vendors, and they will offer all sorts of products to you. Feel free to have conversations with these folks without feeling the pressure to buy or commit to anything. A lot of them are there understanding that you may not have the purchasing power for your university to make those ultimate decisions, but feel free to talk to them, have a conversation about what they're offering and what they might be able to bring to your university, so you can go bring that back to your upper management or upper leadership to offer them suggestions for how to maybe improve your processes going forward. This isn't a high pressure environment. They're just there to talk. They're not there to try to sell or pressure you on the spot. So just feel free to have those conversations. And then in terms of networking and connecting, like I said before, attending state and regional receptions or caucus gatherings is a really great way to start to meet people. Everyone is there to network and meet people. And so don't be afraid to come up to folks that you see are at a similar institution or are from your state, or you saw them do a really great presentation and have some follow-up questions for them. This is another place where the Whova app comes in really handy. There is a direct messaging feature in Whova, and that can be nice if you've gone to a really impactful presentation, or even somebody at that presentation has asked a really pertinent question to an issue that you're having. You can direct message them afterwards, and feel free to meet up for dinner one of the nights that you're there, get coffee, or even just exchange business cards and stay in touch. Leave yourself open to the possibility of making those new connections throughout the conference and extending them from beyond after you leave Columbus.
So we've talked a lot about the Whova app, and the Whova app will launch on March 25th. The screenshots are from last year, so just kind of giving you an idea of what the app looks like in navigation. I really enjoy the Whova app. I think it's just a wonderful tool for information. It helps map out your sessions. It helps you connect with folks. There's a lot of great chat features, but there's also some tips and tricks that Portia and Kelsey and I have figured out along the way that we're going to share with you.
So my first tip just specifically for the Whova app is to download it prior to arriving at Columbus and play a little bit with the notification settings, especially if we're talking about avoiding being overwhelmed during the conference. The Whova app can be a little bit overwhelming if you have it set to receive every single notification. I remember last year's conference, there was a very robust discussion on everybody's dogs, which is great. I love seeing pictures of people's dogs, but it also meant getting literally hundreds of notifications every time someone posted a new picture. So download it a few days early, play with your settings to see what's really important to you and what you want to have highlighted and what you can maybe mute or come back to later.
I 100% agree with Kelsey. Also, if you are that person that your phone has to be cleared of all notifications, definitely take advantage of that, because there will be so many notifications that sometimes you won't even know where it's coming from and you just can't get it off. Fortunately for me, I'm not that person. So I had like all kind of notifications on there. I didn't care. I would definitely go in there and just look through all the sessions, mark them. And then even if they overlap with each other, you have the opportunity where you may want to just sneak in a session, sneak back out and sneak in another session. But if you mark them all now, the ones that you're interested in, you're able to keep that in the forefront of your mind.
I also like you could tag your picture to it as well and your LinkedIn and other social media to the Whova app. Lessons learned. I think we've all learned a couple of lessons along our way. Mine, I've said it once and I'll say it a couple of times. Wear comfortable shoes. I lesson learned years ago when I first went to my first acro session in San Francisco. I wore heels. My feet were very angry with me. I will never, ever do that again. It slowed me down as well. I also got blisters as I was trying to navigate the giant convention center in San Francisco. So I will never do that again. I will wear comfortable shoes. Wear your comfortable shoes. Don't worry about being stylish.
Or if you are stylish like me, how I feel like I am, backup pair is always great. A backup pair, if you can have it in there, I will do a shoe change in a hot minute. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
My lesson learned from my first couple of acros is at the beginning, I felt like since my university was paying for me to be there, that I had to get my money's worth out of the conference. And initially, I thought that getting my money's worth meant being in sessions all day, back to back, for all 3 days of the conference. And if I could do it all again, there are some times when it is more valuable to you in the long run to either go back to your hotel for an hour and decompress, or skip the session and get a coffee with somebody that you feel like you really connected with and really could share a lot of information with. Those deep conversations I've found after many years of going to these conferences can often be more valuable in the long run than the things that you've sat in a conference room for. So don't be afraid to skip out on some sessions. Don't feel obliged to take advantage of every single minute that you're there.
Yes, I would also say be aware of where you are. Molly gave you some great options. However, still be aware. Just your environment and what's around you, whether it's good or bad. But in this case that I'm talking about will be when I went to Denver, I did not understand altitude and all of that stuff, and I got kind of sick. So be aware. In Columbus, in Ohio, allergies are there. So if you are someone who is not in an area where you're not used to it and you come here, you may experience a lot. So just be prepared for things like that.
Questions for us?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me? All right, awesome. Had a quick question about the term first time. So my first time attending was last year virtually, but I've never attended in person. So many of the of the events for first time attendees, would that apply to someone like me?
It 100% would.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
that
was
is
that
good
same
news.
person. That's why I said it. My first
Oh.
one was online, and then I went to one in person, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna need more first time." And that's the takeaway. Thank you for bringing that up, because every conference you might experience something new because you can't get to everything. So that first time label could be your label for a while because you're just trying to experience the conference. So, and I think Acro does a great job with bringing new and exciting things to each conference. So,
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. There were a number of workshops that were not live streamed last year that I was hoping for. So I'm looking forward to taking advantage of those this year. So thank you for answering the question.
Okay, I have a question, right? So this may be my first attending this annual meeting, right? Before that, I used to attend SEM conference, right? So, or in workshops. So is there any specific topic we should prepare some presentation and all, or just open thing, like so we can deliver any presentation on any topic or related topic related to the registrar practices and all. So what would you prefer for that?
So the presentations have already been set for the conference. And so if you haven't submitted a session a few months ago and haven't received any communication from ACRO indicating that you've been chosen to present, all you have to do is show up and enjoy the conference. There's a bunch of different opportunities in sort of roundtable discussions or those types of things to offer feedback and have a little bit more of a fluid conversation. But in terms of being expected to present anything, if you haven't specifically submitted anything, you are under no obligation to speak at all.
I have a question. Turn my camera on. Oops. There we go. Not all of us at my institution can attend. And, I don't want to, spread myself too thin, but what is your thinking about if I have a colleague who sees that there is a session that's really something that could be very helpful? Do you get lost in translation because, you're the one there listening to the presentation and perhaps only thing you can provide them is contact information for the presenter and maybe the slide deck? Do you feel like that kind of falls short? So maybe that's, while good intended, doesn't necessarily work as well as if somebody was at the conference kind of hearing the presentation and kind of taking it all in. That makes sense to you what I'm asking?
I think it totally makes sense. And I think both your effort is welcomed, and you can only do so much. I mean,
Right.
I think and that's what this conference is all about. It's about networking. So if you did not get everything shared and you made that connection with the presenter, you can definitely let the presenter know, like, hey, I listened, email them later and say, I listened to your session. It was great. My coworker wanted to know a little bit more. I'm introducing you to, and then have that,
Hand off. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Another thing to remember, this is Becky with Acro. Hi, I'm the the director here. We also put all of the slides as PDFs into the app, and those are available for 60 days following the conference. So if you needed to kind of jar your memory while speaking with your colleague, as long as the presenters have given the thumbs up, you'll have access to those slides as well to refresh your memory when you're back home and rehydrated. So
I would
Thank
also
you.
add in the Whova app, you have the contact of the presenter information, so you use that as well. The Whova app is a great resource for that.
Great. Thanks.
I can't tell if anyone else has a question, so I want to give pause and allow folks to ask if someone else is before me. Okay, thank you. So my other question is, are any of the presentations set up like a training? In the sense, maybe best practices or industry standards for certain things within, whether that's registrar or admissions enrollment?
Kelsey, you want to take that one or do it?
Yeah, I can take that. There are definitely sessions that are set up that way. Particularly the FERPA sessions that Leroy Ricker presents on. Those are very much, he is the expert in FERPA, and so those are the industry standards. That's, you know, from his mouth to God's ear sort of thing. And a lot of the other sessions are folks who are considered experts in their specific topic. And a lot of them are set up as sort of a lessons learned, best practices, more of a try, because I've made this mistake, here's how you can do better at your own institution. I think a lot of them are imparting wisdom and knowledge in that sense. Oh, and Erin makes a good point in the chat. A lot of the pre-conference sessions are very much that prescriptive sort of best practices as well.
And there are still spaces available in all of them. So you can, it's not too late.
Sam, I wish there was a bobblehead, for sure. I would collect it.
One thing I want to put out there, I'm sorry, that I probably should have shared with my shared experiences, but don't be afraid to network. We can't emphasize enough how important the networking piece is. There's different levels of networking, and I understand that personalities may take over and may make you afraid, but everyone there is so excited to just network. So it is okay, or I will say, practice before you get there, coming a little bit out of your comfort zone and making those connections. Because I think the first time I went, I was just like, I couldn't understand how everybody was like, oh, my friends, everyone in Acro is great. And I was just like, okay, really, like, get to the conference and keep it moving. And now I'm like, oh, I get to see my friends and their faces and everything. So that's where the networking leads to things like that. So don't be afraid to just come out a little bit and just ask somebody for a business card and say you were interested in their topic. Can I get your business card? And then connect with them in Hoover.
Becky, it looks like we have a couple of clips questions.
So the eclipse is happening, and Columbus is about 45 minutes outside the path of totality, which for eclipse people is worthy of travel. And we have gotten lots of emails from pretty much every business in Columbus, making sure we know there's an eclipse. We know there's an eclipse. There is a break planned from 3:30 to 4 o'clock. So that's a little bit after the darkest moment of the eclipse. But if you've ever been part of an eclipse, you know that's actually like a 3 or 4 hour event where you'll be able to see that celestial things are happening. And so if you want to step out and kind of investigate, see use your glasses, or I know when I was in elementary school, we took the index card and poked a hole in it and held it down, and we looked at the shadow and you could see the crescent. So there is a break planned from 3:30 to 4 o'clock. That's our last exhibit hall break. And but the exhibit hall is close to an exit. So for folks who want to go out and experience the end of the eclipse, that will be happening. But we did we really went back and forth on whether or not to alter the whole conference for this event, and decided, because of the significant investment that all of you are making in coming, that we're going to hold to running our full program. It just did not seem like we should cut 20 or 40 sessions for something that some people really may not even be wanting to miss sessions to go see. So that's where that landed. Gosh, I'm gonna stay out of the where to buy the Eclipse glasses. We're hoping that maybe some vendors bring them as a prize. I can tell you that we Acro decided not to have Eclipse glasses as one of our booth giveaways, like the Acro swag, because we try to select Acro swag that's memorable and something you'll keep on your desk. And we didn't think Eclipse glasses were gonna quite merit that keepsake quality. So I hope that answers the questions about the Eclipse. I've been telling my team I'm tired of saying Eclipse, so now I say celestial event, but either way, yeah. So.
Just like Becky said, it might be a lot of traffic coming through Columbus. So again, all the logistics and planning, all that would be a part of it. And also to let you know, halfway because I'm mad about it, but schools are closing. High schools, elementary schools, they're all closed because of the liability, rolling my eyes. So again, a lot of traffic.
We're expecting a lot of activity in Columbus throughout the day on Eclipse Day, but this is not a plug. I'm just saying I got Eclipse glasses on Amazon. Any other questions for us?
Becky, there's a question about whether the sessions that will be online and recorded, if they'll be able to see the presentation after the conference.
Yes, so there are 3 rooms that are being live streamed into the app, and those sessions will be recorded. And the recordings will be posted in the app and available for the 60 days following. So as in-person attendees, if you wanted to double dip a little bit, you could, like, pick 2 favorite sessions in the live stream time. Although as I hear myself saying that out loud, I don't want those rooms empty. So yes, the recordings will be available for the 60 days after, and that's not just to people who are registered for the virtual conference, that's for in-person attendees as well. So you've got the bigger ticket. You get all the in-person sessions and the recordings afterward. Our virtual attendees get all of the recordings that include breakout sessions on Monday and Tuesday, and all of the plenary sessions Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, including the business meeting and all that happening. I'm tempted to just stay off of mute and start answering questions that are coming through in the app. If your session's being live streamed, you would have heard from me by now. So someone asked in the app if how do we know? If you were being live streamed, you would have heard from me by now. There will be a map in the Whova app. You can click, there's a little feature in the click on a session, and it'll show you on a map where the room is. Yeah, that app is pretty handy.
There's a good question in the chat about as experienced attendees, what are you most looking forward to in the annual meeting? For me, I'm really looking forward to networking and seeing my fellow Acro colleagues and asking them questions and seeing what they're doing and the fun things that are occurring on their campus and seeing if it can come back to mind. So I love the sessions, but I really find the value in networking and connecting with people.
For me, it would be the networking as well, seeing my friends. But also, as I've gotten more involved in Acro, there are some things that I have been working with Becky that I am able to now see the other side of how it works. So I'm part of program coordinator for the pre-conferences, Group 7. So this is my first opportunity to be able to see how that runs. So I'm excited for that.
I'm excited to see some folks that I really only get to see once a year at ACRO. So the friends and colleagues that I've made along the way. And I'm also really excited as a caucus chair to see some of the folks that I've seen virtually all year in our monthly caucus gatherings and seeing them in person and being able to see some of the sessions that they've put out and presented and see all of their hard work come to fruition. I'm really excited to be there for them as well.
So I'm excited to see all my people. This is a win-win for me because I get to see my Columbus people that I haven't seen in a while. And then it's like a big old family reunion for me because I get to see all my Black Caucus people. And then I get to see everybody else just because of the role that I have in ACRO. So I am looking forward to seeing all of you. And I'm so glad to see there's over 100 people attending this session today. This is absolutely awesome.
This is awesome. And I expect y'all, I may have a different hairstyle, but I expect y'all to come up to me and say, hey, I remember you. Just say, hey, that's fine. We can chat for a long time or we can chat for a short time, but saying hi is great and welcomed.
I came to ACRO from the outside. I didn't work for a college or a university before I came, and I can say the amount of hugging and excitement that you all have for seeing each other is incredible. And it's not something I've seen at other professional events and conferences. Like people keep saying networking, but you really are about to start meeting your best friends you're going to have through your whole career. It's really impressive. So, one thing I'm hoping to get Portia or Roz or Sasha to just talk about for a minute, for caucuses, I'm white. Can I go to the Black Caucus? I'm a man. Can I go to the Women's Caucus? Like, what's your advice for going to a caucus meeting?
100% can.
You can come to any caucus you want to come to.
Please. I don't know, there's that buzzword intersectionality. So don't let that stop you as well. You could be young, you can be part of the LGBTQ plus community, you can be Black, you could be a woman. We cross several lines, and all of those caucuses are welcome for all. It is not to be secluded at all. If you want to be able to help in a cause in furthering that caucus, please pull up a seat and sit down. You're in for a ride.
And I say, as the chair of the Young Professionals Caucus, I'm not checking IDs. If you want to come join us, we are more than welcome to have. We enjoy everybody's company, and age is just a number. It's a state of mind.
Say less, Kelsey. I'm there. That's all you need to say.
Yeah, and like I said a few minutes ago, I mean, I love my Black Caucus, but I stop in all of the caucuses when I'm there. It's just, and even with all of the other caucuses, when I stop in, it's just like family reunion. Everybody's just so eager to see everybody because we probably haven't seen each other since the last time we were at annual meetings. So yes, you are absolutely welcome to attend any conference session, caucus session that you would like. There's actually a session on intersectionality that will take place as well. Feel free to stop at that session if you have time to do so. We welcome everyone.
And I don't know if we have folks from state and regionals, but those state and regional receptions too, even if you're not officially a member, they will all welcome you. So make sure to check out, if you have, I think maybe Brenda can talk about TACRO a little bit and SACRO, and if others on here want to plug their state and regional gatherings on Tuesday night, please do so. But also that's a really great place to network as well.
Yeah, so a lot of the regionals, like Sasha, and if you're like, what's a regional? So I'm in Texas, so we have Texas Association, and then I'm part of Southern Association. And so the South, we will have our own regional gathering. And you don't necessarily have to be a member of SACRO per se, but if you're a school in the South, you can go to those regional gatherings. A lot of times too, someone asked us on the chat about, is meals are all on your own. So my first acro, I was shy and timid, and I'm like, I'm gonna get my food downstairs and go back up to my room. And looking back, that was probably the wrong thing to do, because it took me a little while to get connected. So if you're like, I'm not quite sure, I'm shy, I'm still new to this, you'll make friends. Talk to the person next to you in a session, or when you're in a break, the person in line behind you, and you'll make friends. And it'll eventually just snowball where you start to know more people, because they'll introduce you and then they'll introduce you. And you'll get to where you're like, I have so many invitations, I don't know what to do. So that would be my one piece of advice as well. Just talk to the people around you. And you don't have to necessarily have to be an extrovert. If you just like small gatherings, talk to the person in line behind you when you're getting a snack. And that'll probably lead to a friendship, and then it'll go from there.
A lot of the state and regionals will be in the Hova app as well, kind of posting of when their different dinners will be. And kind of along the lines of Brenda said, you're also going to get a lot of invitations from the vendors to attend things. You're not obligated to go. You're welcome to if you want to or want to discuss, but don't feel like you have to always go to every single invitation that you receive, because you're going to receive a lot of them.
There was a question in the chat about Experience Acro. So I just wanted to chat for just a couple minutes about what's happening there. It's not a separate invitation. It is for all first-time attendees. If you are a first-time attendee, we can just say in person. If you came back virtually last year, you're in person, please join us. All first-time attendees are invited to Experience Acro. It's from 3:15 to 4:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. It's in a big ballroom. It's like a college fair. There's tables set up for all kinds of ways to engage with Acro and learn more about a caucus, or learn more about a state and regional, or learn more about Acro publications. There will be a little food. There will be some games. We have some prize drawings that are there. And when you go to pick up your badge, you will automatically, because you're a first-time attendee, get a ticket for the Experience Acro event. And then they're probably going to ask you like, oh, are you planning to attend Experience Acro? And if you say, oh my gosh, no, I'm meeting my grandma for lunch. Oh, we'll miss you. And we will miss you. If they ask, are you planning to attend Experience Acro? And you say, I'm there, like I'm going to do the rope drop for Experience Acro, they're going to give you more tickets for Experience Acro that are going to have your name on them. And I'm not going to tell you now what those are for, because I don't want to ruin any surprises, but keep them with you for when you come into the room, because there is a game that will be attached to those extra tickets for Experience Acro. So I highly encourage you to come and start meeting the other first-time attendees. 3:15 to 4:30 in the Union Ballrooms. It'll all be in the app. And you do not have to RSVP. You do not have to pay. There's nothing other than please come and join us for Experience Acro.
Two words. Rope drop.
At Disney World, where they like line up for the rides to open and they rope drops and everybody like runs.
I love it. I love it.
I'm glad you asked. I was wondering too.
Can I add one more tip while I'm thinking about it? So one of the things someone asked was about like, going to the conference, you get all this new knowledge, you meet these new people, is once you get home, is don't let that lapse. So continue those relationships, take back what you learn, because I think it's easy to get back to your office and then you get back in the hamster wheel of whatever it is you're doing. So as a first time attendee, like write down your notes, share them with your colleagues, maybe set up like if you're the only one from your office going, like an office lunch and learn where you share, this is what I learned, or with your leadership, your supervisor, just so you kind of get that knowledge. Just because it is an expensive conference, your university is investing in you, is that you want to demonstrate that there is value in you attending, and there definitely is value in you attending. But just be sure to go back to your campus and share that knowledge. And then also keep up those relationships that you meet at the conference.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of Brenda, it could just be a small email or LinkedIn message saying, met you, it was great, you know, simple two sentence exchange.
Maybe one other thing to know is that all the first timers will have the same color lanyard. So you can find each other, and Acro staff are in a really bright blue. The Acro board is in a royal blue. So the colors on the lanyards can be helpful in finding other first timers versus maybe someone who's been here before, or someone whose job it is to make sure that you're having a positive experience. So know that as well. There will be a key in the app about what the different colors mean. You don't have to memorize this. I see a question about the NNLSO breakfast. So the NNLSO is the National Law School Officer organization that we run some concurrent things with them. We give them some space. They come to our meeting. If you work for a law school, we can put you in touch with the NNLSO people. If you don't work for a law school, I don't know if I have authority to say go ahead and stop by. So if you're not sure, email meetings@acro.org and we can get you connected to the NNLSO if you are supposed to be. I'm scanning these comments as fast as I can. The other thing to know about the app, as awesome for all the networking and finding each other, if that's not you, you can hide yourself. You can turn your profile off so other people cannot find you. You can still manage your sessions and do everything that you want for yourself, but there is a privacy setting in the app that allows you to go stealth mode, just so you know. And I see a comment about the Columbus Volunteers. So in a lobby that I have started calling Grand Central Station, but I should probably call it what it is, which is the Regency lobby. It'll sit right between the exhibit hall and the general sessions. We will have our Columbus hospitality booth and a Seattle hospitality booth, which is where we'll be next year. And those will be staffed with volunteers almost all day. And so I see Molly nodding. Molly, do you want to just talk for a minute about the booth? Because I feel like I've taken over and that wasn't my intent.
Not at all. The booth, I agree with Becky, is like Grand Central Station. There will be someone there at all times. We'll be in Columbus t-shirts, so you'll know who we are. It's a great resource to ask questions, food selections, anything about Columbus. We'll know navigation, and just stop by and say hi. So it's a great place. It turns into just a gathering location, especially with Columbus and Seattle being right next to each other. So another great opportunity to meet people and ask questions. I can tell you the Columbus team is super excited. We are just thrilled and excited to be in Columbus.
I need some tips on how my family, because I'm from Columbus, I'm here in Columbus. How can I turn them off while I'm at the conference? I want them to think I'm out of town.
Well, thanks, everyone. If you think of any questions later, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, make sure to attend that Q&A session next week with another great group of panelists. And I look so forward to seeing you in Columbus, and make sure to step by and say hi. Thanks.
Thanks.